Okay. To Attorney Kay Ann Magundayo Borlado, Officer in Charge of the PCW, my dear friend. Um, to Ma'am Geraldine B. Roman, Representative, House of Representatives. Hi, ma'am. You're beautiful and gorgeous as well. And I would like to acknowledge also Miss Anita Baleda, my good friend, Chief Guide Specialist of the PCW. Of course, ASEC Dayan. Yes, I won't forget her because when I encountered a very unfortunate event inside a plane going to New York, she was there to the rescue. Yeah. And of course, to my fellow public servants, distinct and brilliant women leaders present here today, representatives from the civil society organizations and private sector, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. And as what my boss always says, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of my boss, another empowered and gorgeous Filipina, Department of Budget and Management Secretary Amena Pangandaman, I would like to thank the Philippine Commission on Women for once again holding another significant activity towards promoting continued dialogues that would further advance women's rights and empowerment. I had the honor to accompany the good secretary when she served as head of the Philippine delegation at the United Nations 68th session of the Commission on the Status of Women in New York City. Indeed, as Sec Mina stated, the Philippines' representation at the UN CSW 68 was an effective manifestation of adding our voice into important social dialogues that lead to poverty alleviation, acceleration of gender equality, and empowerment of all women and girls. Our participation has been a crucial contribution to the promotion of greater gender parity that will in turn boost our economy's stability and growth. As she would also emphasize, there's a lot of interventions underway to empower women and uphold their rights. So, on our part, in the Department of Budget and Management, we are focusing on what we can do on the expenditure side. Thus, to stimulate sustainability and promote inclusive economic growth, we need to continuously implement gender tagging into our planned policy actions, especially in our national budget. Gender tagging, I know that a lot of you haven't heard of this term yet, but gender tagging or gender responsive budgeting is a strategy that creates budgets that work for everyone. It involves integrating a clear gender perspective within the overall context of the budgetary process through special processes and analytical tools to promote gender responsive policies. By considering and analyzing the unique and diverse needs of every member of society, gender responsive budgets ensure that all citizens benefit equally from government resources. So, one example of which is a scholarship program implemented by CHED. So when they propose this as a project or an activity or program at the Department of Budget and Management, um, basically we will require a justification or a description of the program as to the number of participants in the scholarship program. So we will see if the number of men and women are equal. No, number of men and women beneficiaries of the program are equal. So that will determine if the program is gender responsive or if it can be considered gender tagged. So more than 100 countries have initiated efforts on gender responsive budgeting to address gender equality. In Asia, the Philippines is one of the countries that implement gender responsive budgets. And we commit to further strengthening our ongoing gender budget tagging efforts to address inequality and uplift the lives of more women and girls. This is consistent with our efforts to commit to the agreed conclusions adopted by the Commission in accelerating the achievement of gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. It can be emphasized that the integration of gender tagging into budget allocation is not just a matter of equality. It's a fundamental step towards building a more resilient and prosperous Philippines. I repeat, this is not just a matter of equality, this is a fundamental step. So, by ensuring that resources are directed toward initiatives that address gender disparities and empower women, we can unlock the full potential of our economy and society. Delivering the Philippine statement at the UN CSW 68, Secretary Mina highlighted the significant strides that the country has achieved so far in promoting the rights of women and girls from different sectors. Included in these achievements is the enactment of our comprehensive anti-discrimination and gender equality law known as the Magna Carta of Women in 2009. This is further operationalized and translated into meaningful and targeted outcomes through the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment or GEWE Plan 2019 to 2025. Further, government agencies have been allocating at least 5% of their budget to support programs and activities in GEWA since 1995. You know, a lot of agencies are asking DBM about this because they thought that the budget allocation for GAD is a maximum of 5% only. So let me clarify that. It's not a maximum of 5%, it's at least 5%. So it can be 20% if you like. Yeah. So we have also mainstreamed gender into social protection initiatives through the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, which provides cash grants to millions of eligible households. So under President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s administration, we will continue to strengthen the cash assistance program as our commitment to eradicating poverty in all forms. As the Commission remains deeply concerned about women and girls, especially in developing countries, particularly those in vulnerable situations, we commit to addressing the adverse impacts of climate change. And as conveyed by Secretary Mina, we are setting up nationwide evacuation centers to cater to women and girls during disasters. So one of the agreed conclusions of the Commission likewise includes women's full, equal, effective, and meaningful participation and decision-making in addressing poverty and strengthening institutions. One shining example of committing to implement this conclusion is the establishment of the Bangsamoro Women Commission, which also integrates gender initiatives into the Bangsamoro region's priority agenda. We are also providing a venue for women in the public sector and civil society to join in the promotion of a gender fair and open government. You know, during the UNCSW 68, SecMina, as chair of the Philippine Open Government Partnership or PHOGP, reported the strengthened partnership and collaboration with civil society to achieve gender equality and women empowerment. As you know, the Philippines is one of the 8 founding members of the Open Government Partnership or OGP that commits to promoting transparency, accountability, inclusivity, and civic participation. The PHOGP has recently broadened the steering committee membership to include a seat for a women's sector representative to ensure the integration of the perspectives and voices of women in open government initiatives. At the welcome dinner for heads of delegations, SecMina emphasized the importance of women's participation, especially in climate change, peace, and security efforts, particularly in BARM. underscoring the success of peace efforts led by women. Meanwhile, at the Ministerial Roundtable on Mobilizing Financing for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of All Women and Girls, Policies and Strategies to End Women's and Girls' Poverty, SecMina has reiterated the country's unwavering commitment as a partner in poverty eradication, acceleration of gender equality, and empowerment of all women and girls as reflected in our Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028 and the GEWE Plan. Part of our GAD mainstreaming milestones include the provision of loan access to 68% of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, women, and entrepreneurs. Our government also provides science-based scholarships to address the gender poverty gap. Additionally, a significant portion of our national budget has been allotted to support the health and nutrition of pregnant and lactating mothers and deliver culturally appropriate, gender-sensitive socioeconomic services monitored through gender budget tagging. Lastly, the Budget Secretary also highlighted that the Philippines has signed the 2024 to 2028 UN Sustainable Development Cooperations Framework that prioritizes joint initiatives for human capital development, inclusion, and resilience building. Building on these, under the leadership of our beloved President Bongbong Marcos and his vision of a bagong Pilipinas, we will further elevate the rights of women in the country. During the UN CSW 68, the President has called on the member states to pursue innovative solutions to ensure equal and full participation of women in society. And that is what we will continue to do. Reaffirming our commitment at the UN CSW 68, we shall continue mainstreaming gender equality into all our national initiatives and programs. Deepening our understanding of the status of women's rights and empowerment will support us in attaining substantive development outcomes. So ladies and gentlemen, under Bagong Pilipinas, let us all together work hand in hand in promoting an inclusive, future-proof, and sustainable economy where no Filipino is left behind, including and most especially women. Marami pong salamat sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang mga Pilipino, lalo na ang mga Pilipina.